Been an uncharacteristically busy week for me. We've got snow in Tennessee, which nobody knows how to deal with. I, of course, have been out playing with my dog in it. I went with my mom this past weekend to see a show at TPAC, and that was a lot of fun. So two things. That's busy for me. Hey everybody, and welcome to Finish Friday, the show where we help more creative people change more lives. I'm your host, Todd B from Tennessee, and this week I was supposed to talk to students at my old high school about journalism and writing and all that, and I didn't get the chance to because of the snow, but if I did, here's what I would have said to them. I would have said that not many people come from a small high school and get to make it big. Not many people even cling to the hope that what they do creatively will last them past their childhood. Not many people grow up in Dixon, Tennessee and find a following 4 times the size of that town. Not many people get solicitations from Time Magazine or Inc. or LinkedIn, but none of those things change who I am as a person. None of them change me as a writer. And as a matter of fact, that's not what means the most to me. What means the most to me is that I can wake up at the crack of dawn and write in this journal at 5 a.m. and nobody can take that from me. You can take my followers, you can take my platform, you can take my house, you could take the money, you could take my car, but you cannot take my art away from me. When you get up and you write that chapter 1, nobody can take it from you. When you have your poetry or your music or your songs or your photography, it's just you and nobody can take that from you. It's not about finding the money or finding the career even to use your art for. It's about using art to find your passion and your purpose, because that stuff, your art, what you write in private, is something that nobody can take away from you. For the record, I also probably would have told them about the 1995 Dodge Caravan I had with the words "Fan Van" slapped on the front, but you know, that's another story for another time. This week's question of the week comes in from Preston L, and Preston asks, I'm wondering if you have suggestions for marketing my work to a wider audience. Preston, I assume you're talking about free marketing, and I would say that bar none, the biggest way to grow a wider audience is to write or create a viral piece of work. That's your pretty much go-to thing. Of course, you have to capture those folks afterwards, but to widen your distribution, you have to go viral. So what does that mean? That means looking at whatever place you publish on and writing a headline that people are more likely to share. That means keeping things short and consumable so they can take it and they can give it to their friends quickly. That means having the quality that people would expect from what they come to you for. But I think the bigger question that we kind of have to ask before we get out of here is, why do you want a wider audience? If it's about like getting more exposure, I understand that if you're a writer or something, the most exposure usually wins. But what I would do is probably sit down and try to figure out exactly why I want to grow my audience and exactly who I want to reach in that growth. And if it doesn't help all the way, I've linked down a post called 10 strategies to going viral on every platform. And I know that that will help. So I would make sure I would define my audience, and then I would take a look at that post to see the specific strategies for going viral. This week's artist spotlight goes on none other than the Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. What you're hearing right now is his Flute Concerto No. 2, and he was paid to make this piece back in the day by a Dutch flautist named Ferdinand de Jong, and that sounds great, right? But the problem is Mozart never actually got paid for this piece, and the reason is he was crunched for time, right? Like Mozart had big things. He was going to conquer the world, and he wasn't necessarily concerned with writing little pieces for peons like Ferdinand. And so instead what he did was took an oboe piece, retooled it, and gave it to him. But the gig was up almost immediately because Dijon learned that he hadn't done that much new work and refused to pay him. And I think the lesson there is, if you're getting paid to do original work, it's got to be original. even the greats fall down sometimes. That does it for episode 53. Make sure to hit the thumbs up if you're loving this show, or just the books or the green wall, whatever it is. I'll take the thumbs up wherever they come. But before you go, make sure to answer the Ask the Audience, which for this week is, how often do you listen to classical music? This is a judgment-free zone, so whether your answer is always or never, I look forward to reading it down in the comments below. Once again, I'm Todd B from Tennessee, and I will talk with you next week.